You're listening to Shri and Spence on Let's Go. Come on!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's right, we back and forth all night. You know we back and forth all
What's going on, Shri?
Oh,
How
yes.
we doing?
B.O.B., that's how I'm doing. I don't know what that stands for.
Back and forth.
Back and
all
forth.
night.
Might as well be, dude. But
Mhm.
it's great to be here.
Dude.
It's been a little dream of ours for some time.
Yeah, for a while. And this is what a dream comes true looks
dream
like.
realized,
This is
yeah.
it. This is a dream realized. Down here, hanging out, having you back in town. That itself seems to be a gift. I mean, you've been world traveling for a little bit.
I have, but before we move a little forward, I'd like to thank Coach Sames.
Sure.
He pushed us, but he gave us a little space. Warm-ups were definitely a time for us to really formulate this idea, cultivate it, create it.
Yeah,
And,
I think a lot of people thought Coach Sames he's a hard ass, and
Yeah.
he was all about business. But I think he saw that too. He recognized when there was some serious ideation going on.
Yeah.
He left that space.
He was a visionary. I mean, you don't run a sub 4-minute mile and not have a little bit of
That deserves
creativity.
a shout out.
Yeah, so I just wanted to go.
Ran a sub 4-minute mile in college.
Yeah,
So,
I wanted to throw that in the coach.
yeah, so I was thinking, how do we start every conversation we have? Is usually how are the Tigers doing, and then I guess they're with some risk because it's like is everything okay? I think after 5 minutes we'll be like, wait, so you're good? Like you're good though? You're okay? Like where are you in the world? But usually we talk Tigers, so I think we get right into Tigers.
Yep.
I'll even tell a story. One of the few times I talked to you when you were in China doing the Peace Corps was I think during an ALCS game.
Absolutely.
Somehow you get on the phone with me and we're talking during like the 7th inning during maybe the crushing Ortiz game or something. And man, I haven't heard from this guy, and he's finding a way to be a Tigers fan in Western China.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Western China.
I was waking up 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, rocking the Tigers gear. It was hard. It was rural China. Just had a basic connection. But MLB TV, that $25 deal, I couldn't pass it up. And it doesn't happen every day. It's tough. It's tough when we get swept again after that Cardinals loss. That's when I became a Tigers fan, and to be in another country, enjoying it, and to kind of see how we burned out again. Frustrating, but to have that chance to call you and talk about it, and once again, not ask how you were, not how I asked you were doing. I was just wondering how the Tigers were doing, how you were feeling. You were there, you had the pulse. That's cool. I think it's nice to have that with friends when you can talk about something you care about, knowing and almost assuming that the givens are taken. I don't need to ask you any perfunctory questions like, "Hey, how you doing? How's how's mom? How's dad?" I know those things are good, and if they're wrong, you're gonna jump in.
Right. So. Unfortunately, you come back, you miss a couple of years. We just missed the series. I remember you telling me before you left, man, I don't want to miss the Tigers World Series. And then you agreed that, well, you'd rather have them win it than not. It's not a selfish thing, but man, you don't want to miss it. Well, you didn't. And you come back and we make the playoffs. And, well, you didn't see a Tigers World Series. And now this year it looks highly unlikely that we'll be close. I've got a question for you and then Joe, who's with us again, Mr. Joe McClain.
What's up, listeners?
I want to ask you this as well. Are the Tigers more likely to be 1 or 10 games back of that second wild card heading into the last week of the season? Currently, they stand 4 games under 500, about 4 or 5 back. Is that right, Joe? 4 or 5 back?
They're 4 back right now. They just lost last night. So,
are we more likely to be 1 or 10 games back?
And I think you know what I'm going to say.
I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
You know my sheer optimism for the Tigers. That's the kind of guy talking at the beginning of the season. That I was loving the Cespedes trade. I was loving how I was feeling. I was feeling good. I felt like we finally had guys in the field, guys who could hit. We had a good order. It was a beast of an order. I mean, you have Cabrera, Vimart, Cespedes, got guys like Kinsler at the top of the order. Iglesias hidden. Honestly, I'm saying 1 game out. I'm saying 1 game out because Mickey's been gone. He's just been gone. And to have him back is never, ever, ever something they can discredit. I'm saying 1. I'm just saying 1. And
as you speak, Cabrera just doubled in a run.
That's what I'm saying.
That was real time.
That was real time.
And I'm not at all surprised. That's beautiful, and it's just what it is. And Vmart always is more comfortable with Cabrera out there. I think they're symbiotic in that sense. That they
vocab word.
Yeah. Hey, hit that GRE book. I got them. Manhattan Project. Great books. But really, they are. I mean, what are you feeling? Or Joe, you hit
Joe, let's
I think they're more like. Are they going to be 1 game out? Probably not. but they're more likely to be 4 or less games out.
Sure.
I think, just as a Tiger fan, than 10 games, and that's why I think. If you have a chance to make the playoffs, you have a chance to win the World Series. And
the Royals showed that.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And do I want to see the Tigers to have that chance? Yes. Should we have if we still had Yoenis Cespedes, if we still had David Price, if we still had Joakim Soria, I think we'd be 2 games out of the wild card spot right now, no doubt about it. And by selling, I really think you kind of. I think David Price going against anyone in a playoff game, a 1-game playoff, I'm pretty confident we're going to win that game. So, what do you think, Spence?
I think we had a smart GM. He recognized that at best we were going to be in a one-and-done game with a team that maybe has more talent top to bottom than we do. I look up in the standings, and I don't just see one team 4 games ahead of us. I see a cluster of teams, any of which could surge. So I am...
Including us, though?
Yeah. Well, I don't think we have the firepower. I think we gave it up. We gave up our firepower to reboot, as Dave Dombrowski said. I thought he found the sword. I thought he did the right thing because, again, we weren't going to win our division, and that's what I think you need to do. The second wild card, I think too many people are chasing it. The market has not – it needs to recalibrate where people are going to realize we shouldn't be buying for this half chance at making the playoffs. It's too much. Unless you get your guy like Price, we had him. So understand maybe, you want to say, well, we had the ace to win that wild card game. Still, it's such a crapshoot in the one game. I don't like that math. So I'm going to go. We're more likely to be 10 games out because I just don't see the firepower. But more, forward looking. We don't make the playoffs this year. It's a lost year. Let's say that. What do you think going forward? Do you see this team in any of the next 3 years making the playoffs? The
Next
Tigers
3 years.
making the playoffs in any of the next 3 years?
To be quite honest, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sold on that. Just because I'm not happy with Dombrowski leaving. I think that he built the legacy. And I think he took a team that no one believed in. He took a kid who didn't believe in baseball, didn't watch it, to a guy who did.
Who's that kid?
That kid's right in front of you, man. I did not watch baseball. And to be talking about it in this depth now, to understand what a split, like a cut fastball is, I'm just a kid who I'd never played Little League, never done any of those things.
Wow.
To see a team that you felt connected to and did it the right way. It's cool. It's neat, and I don't think he deserves to be out middle of the season. So I don't know. I don't know if Avila, is he the guy? Is he our guy now? Why is he our guy? Like, why is it inside this organization? I'm not entirely sure. So
he has a good relationship with Cuban players, though. That is known.
Do you think that's kind of being a big pull for him, or is that they just want to play a little safe, not bring someone who kind of restart this program that we have?
I think the talent pool in Cuba is
huge, yeah.
One of the most saturated talent pools around. And when you have a guy like Avila that's kind of a comfortable point or a pro rather than a con for Cuban players, I agree with that.
It's also Alex and Avila. I was unsure whether his name was Avila. I was like, I know his son's name is Alex.
No, it's
hubris.
Moving on after the concussion.
Let me say this. So I'll just get my point real quick. Last thing I'll say is that as long as Mike Ilitch is breathing, this team will be competitive in the MLB.
He wants to win. There's no doubt. And looking at the payroll moving forward, it flirts with 130 to 150. We're there right now. We could sign a free agent. I was talking earlier with you, Shriram. I think if we bolster the outfield, I don't trust a guy like Tyler Collins or Daniel Fields or someone in the system being an everyday guy. We bolster the outfield with trade for a guy like Jay Bruce or something. They're free agent outfielders coming off the market each year, available for 15 to 20 a year on a 4-year contract. We could sign that type of deal. The issue is, if we get a great hitter, can the staff then sustain itself? I was telling you this.
I don't know.
The trades that we made, getting 4 pitching prospects, not including the blue chip Norris. Okay, 2 of which are already playing for the team, getting reps in the majors. We've got a AA guy, a AAA guy, a low A guy. If 2 of those guys, let's say Norris becomes a 3-4 starter over the next 3 or 4 years,
I think
that's solid.
Will. Should.
And that's reasonable. And let's say 2 of them become solid bullpen arms. Those are all cheap arms that you have. And then you're able to go out and get a hitter, maybe get an additional pitcher. So I do think in one of the next 3 years we will make the playoffs. I don't think it's this year. I think we're done. I think psychologically the team's checked out.
I don't think so. I think the players
I don't think psychologically we have it to make a run. That's what I'm saying. I think you have to really be able to grind, and I don't think this team believes right now. But I do think with a fresh start next season, we have a chance.
I think I might be making too big a deal of it, but I do think that a guy like Cabrera coming back,
it's huge. Yeah,
these guys have I know they've been keyed into winning. They don't know how not to win anymore.
When you have young leaders too, like James McCann and guys that will rally around, I think there's a potential that there could be something special for the Tigers this September.
Because we've never been this team that's come out of nowhere before. We've never been in that position, and the pressure's off. Honestly, it's off. The minute that sell happened, the pressure was completely off. It was basically spit in the face of guys like Victor Martinez and Miguel Cabrera saying, you know what? I mean, we're not going to make it. Even if we have you on the team, even if two of the most prolific hitters in baseball history on their team, we're not making this year.
All right. So I got a thought on the pressure being off here, and this is going to get juicy. I want to get into this. So we're talking about teams and selling and buying at the trade deadline, and I want to extend this to something that's familiar for all our peers, for us, and it's the dating game.
Will you count me in?
Okay, and speaking of pressure off, pressure on, do I need to date someone who I'm going to marry? So I want to pose both of you guys this question. What's the oldest age of someone you would consider dating? And then define that. What's the dating mean? Is it a date? Is it let's hang out and indefinite, end to this relationship? I don't see an end, or there's an end, I don't know when. What are your thoughts there? How old would you go?
Shriram, you go first. I'm just going to be the mediator here.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: is this at my current age at 25? What's the oldest I'm going?
That's right. Right now.
I don't know. I think I've always been insecure with that being the younger person, but I think as time's moved on, I don't seem to see that distinction as much. I would say, like 27, 28, and that's more of an arbitrary age because I've recognized that at my 25, I feel like a much younger 25. I can see myself dating someone younger than me. I can see myself dating someone older than me because I think I can kind of navigate those two age ranges pretty easily. But I think the more interesting question was that at this stage of my life, would I be willing to date not for an end game? I think my parents, if you ask them that, say, why do you date? They'd say you date to find someone.
Sure.
Why else do you date? Well, even biologically, why else do you spend time with the other sex and then to have some type of future? And then, to be very crass and just simple as a reproductive future. And I don't know. I don't think I'm there yet. But I've never dated someone just not to be married, but I've never dated someone without like a serious feeling for them.
You never gone in to a relationship thinking this person's really engaging. I like them, but I know this will end.
I've never done that.
I'm not planning on this ever. I'm not thinking of the possibility this could.
And subconsciously, honestly, that could be the case. But I've never consciously gone into a relationship. Okay. Although, I don't know. My first college girlfriend, I think I consciously knew that there was going to be an endpoint. I was going to the Peace Corps. But it was not in the sense that this is just to experience someone else's company. It was more like, this is a human being and I don't see an endpoint yet. It's not clear. I'm not writing it off. Maybe in 2 years I go to the Peace Corps, she's coming with me. Or, we're sticking around. So I don't know. I'm not entirely sold on of discounting that part of the relationship, of saying that it's got to be marriage or it's got to be this serious relationship, because I think you lose out on a lot when you put that much pressure on someone else fulfilling your expectations.
So you're going a few years older, 27, 28.
Also dropping
you may
younger.
Consider dating for fun without the end game in mind, but it's hard because it's very much built into how a lot of our peers speak and function, is that search for a life partner.
Yeah.
Joe, what do you think? Any cougar alert out there for you? Are you are you pretty much content with your age range? Are you looking for the one? What's going on?
I don't want to date anyone too old.
What's too old?
Too old for me is, I think, 3 years older than me, 3 or 4 years older
That's
than
fair.
me. I kind of, I would like to think that when I'm dating, I'm thinking of someone that I would like to, marry as a family with.
Yeah.
That's just for me, based on the value system that I was raised in. Not to be, one of those people who said, he who cast the first stone is the one who has not sinned. Definitely would be up for, having maybe, dating someone. I don't know. I just wouldn't go and date someone for pleasure. I would want to date someone for the potential of that relationship. So that's me. What about you, Spency?
I would go 40. I would date someone who's 40, and I think if I thought I would be with someone even up to a year, if I was like, oh, I'll date this person, but after a year, like it wouldn't go anywhere. I think to me, I can connect with someone over the time, stay connected. Like I believe in that. I believe that the way we are today, we don't have to be in as much of a rush. It could be really insightful to date someone that's just in a different generation and I can't go down to 10. So I'm going to go up to 40.
You can't.
I can't.
Please remember that.
I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go down. So
Weird.
I'll
Weird thing to say.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I'll go up to 40. I mean, it's like I was 10 when that person was 25.
True.
But we're both older now, so I just think it could be engaging, and as long as we're both kind of the mindset that like let's enjoy some experiences together, travel together, that could have its own purpose. It's not that I go out and seek that, but if that were to happen, a travel partner, someone I'm in a city for a year or two, it's like that, and without having the headache of how does this end up working. If there's just sort of this understanding that it's temporary and we can enjoy and appreciate each other, that's great. So I'm going older, much older than you guys are.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about dating, we're talking about there is some end game in mind. I mean, the end game, our social construct, we're going towards marriage, and that union clearly has been in the news a bunch with gay marriage, and that's I think that also forced people to reevaluate what marriage means. It's past just the labels, but more onto how do you define it? I mean, why do you get married? Why was this a thing? I have a lot of people say, I'm not thinking about getting married. I don't think I want to get married. And for me, that's kind of like a what? Like you don't want to get married, and they're very confident about it. When I think about it, I say, this is just like something that's ingrained in me. It's something that's going to happen. But what's really like, I thought it's always been a strange, not obsession with me. I don't want to call it obsession, but a type of fascination is finding a mate who is of a different cultural background. I think most Indian people I know find other Indian people. Most Caucasian people I know, for the most part, find Caucasian people. And I think this was a pretty superficial thing. But, whenever you see a kid who's got parents of two different races, chances are pretty high. They're going to be pretty attractive. It's just
okay.
It's biologically. It seems like God Himself is saying, if you bring two people of two different races, colors, they're going to be beautiful, and so you should do it. It's like you're being compelled to do something.
God's incentivizing.
God incentivizing, and whatever you believe in is incentivizing. If you just want to go to evolution, is incentivizing attractiveness or better features on the most superficial level that carry a lot of weight.
Diversity in child rearing has always been encouraged, right? Inbreeding is bad.
It's bad.
Genetically
bad.
So if you extend it to interracial marriage, I certainly think that could be defended by genetics. Also, let's look at that kid from more of a just behavioral standpoint. Does he have parents of two different religions? Is he introduced to more diversity of thought as someone? So that's one probably why it's harder for people to find that, maybe not date, but find a life partner you can trust and feel like will be there for you in all of your toughest circumstances, and you'll go right into the sunset with of a different race or fundamental thought and value system. That could be tricky, but I agree. I think given the benefits, the potential benefits of just accepting diversity in thought, having access to that, the pure just surge of attraction that would happen if we all were breeding and marrying in an interracial way.
10 colors.
Whatever it would be, it'd be a 10 society. We'd be a bunch of 10s running around.
Look at the interracial celebrities we have nowadays. Or actually, I even see this athletes. You got the Persian Japanese on Yu Darvish. You got the Japanese Canadian Seti
attractive fastball as well.
Yeah. And then you have Heinz Ward, Korean and African American, and then Derek Jeter. I mean,
I think that's where.
Have you seen Northwest? That baby is beautiful. I'm sorry. Even someone is
too young.
We're going
pop
culture.
Too young.
Beautiful. I think babies are all beautiful.
Yeah, so that's exactly.
Except the ugly babies.
Who are not beautiful.
That's
objective. Yeah, but true.
There are some babies that are not aesthetically pleasing.
Okay. So we're gonna. And often, I think those babies. I don't think you're gonna find an interracial baby.
No,
that's
you're
a
not.
mixed race baby that is unattractive.
Find me a
They're
mixed
all-
race baby is not as unattractive.
Send
Bring them
send
to me.
Send us those.
No,
photos
bring them
first.
to me. If you are so sure that they're unattractive, I will.
Okay, so Shriram is going to give you his
19002
address, I guess.
Glengarry Drive, Livonia, Michigan 4815. Write it down. I'll
Write
be
it down.
there.
Bring him an unattractive
Goodness.
mixed race baby.
You're not going to.
You can email us pictures at letsgocomeon@gmail.com as well. we'll set that up for you guys.
Good luck finding an unattractive baby.
I've got some numbers
Especially
here for you.
one.
9.5% of marriages are interracial,
That's it.
and 62% of the U.S. population, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 62% of the U.S. population is non-Hispanic white. So just do the math. Even if you group minorities into one cluster and non-Hispanic whites into another, the rate should be a lot higher than 9.5%. I think 2-3 times higher if you were just to randomly pair people. So there's clearly still something, as we alluded to, it could be value-based, cultural, religion, that links people of the same race. Yet we're arguing, hey, this could be a great thing for diversity in our country, more acceptance.
Yeah. Genetically.
So, I mean, if the government can do things like, as it already has, you can argue subsidize certain areas of love. It does subsidize marriage. That's why gay marriage was an issue, because straight marriage is subsidized, right?
Tax breaks.
So,
Linked back to it's a lot.
Can they further subsidize interracial marriage? What's your take, Street?
I mean, can they? The government can do what they want. They can. It's the classic "can I" and "may I" or "will I," whatever the teachers are saying. What they can do is they can subsidize it, but I don't know. There's going to be a lot of people hooting and hollering, and I don't think it's just going to be your conservatives. It's going to be people just saying, "What? How is that for you to decide?" And I think that they would not, because that's going to just start people making random connections. Like, this is just like China's one-child policy and radical things that you're doing to your own, I don't know, some type of utopian agenda that some candidate or someone has. And I don't know. I just don't think it would be wise to do, nor would it, I think, help the cause, because I think at some basic underlying fact that love, I hope we can preserve it as being something that has some organic feel to it. Of course, we've subsidized in different ways. We've made it so that you marry a partner for their financial stability, for their genetic fitness too. I mean, like you've attractive people find attractive people saying this is an indicator. I mean, we have certain things that are very calculating about our marriages already, about our unions, and to add something into a very even more tangible, quantifiable way, I think is a bit scary. I think it would feel more threatening than anything.
Because it's explicit.
Even if
it wouldn't really change the mechanics or the overarching structure of how we pair, because we do pair in a structured way, in a very deliberate way, without it being established, or getting tax breaks. But because it's explicit, and if you're looking at interracial marriage as this potential way to promote diversity and understanding, I can understand the hypocrisy in that and saying, well, we shouldn't need to pair people or encourage that.
It should happen.
It should happen, and while it's not at the levels that you would expect, far below the levels that you would expect if it randomly happened.
You know where I was last night?
Where were you?
Wedding. Huge wedding, huge Indian wedding. And
did they play that Major Lazer song?
No, they didn't play that one. They played that Lean On song that I think I've heard about 18,000 times on 95.5. My Mustang does not have one of those aux cords all the cool kids have these days. So I've heard the big hits.
You still got the old Mustang?
Still rocking. 2006 now. It's an old one.
Yeah, man, right?
It's getting Woodward Dream Cruise. Here we come. A few more. Hey, 2006 boy. Oh, but yes, sir. Yeah. It was always my dream to really, set that car up, but I'm just gonna let it get old to the point where it's cool.
Yeah.
Just gonna let it get old.
Yeah, soup it up when it's 20 years old.
True.
So, yeah, man, you're moving around a little last night.
I was, and
it's a lot of family there, right? So
a lot of family, and so it's pretty free. People are ready to dance. People are ready to mingle. But there also are a lot of uncles who drink a lot of whiskey, especially Indian uncles. This is their time to really break loose a little bit from the constraints of Indian manhood, whatever that is. I don't know. I didn't grow up in that society. You'll see a lot of interesting dancing, in ways that you're not fully comfortable with, given that these are role models. These are people who you've seen be quite rigid.
So these aren't Indian dance routines.
They are not.
It's not okay. And more freestyle on the freestyle.
I would say freestyle, maybe too freestyle.
Okay,
Too
so
much free.
let's go. You're at a wedding. I'm going to a wedding this weekend,
Yeah.
and
Shouts out.
I take pride in my dance. Really, the rhythm. I'm going to get out there when I'll be one of the first 10 out there, and probably one of the last 10 off.
And that's a rare club to be in, and I think it's one you're proud of.
But what you often see is most of the first 10 out there will also be the last 10 off.
Yeah.
So the club is like 10.
Naturally.
It's just the people who really like dancing. I like it.
I love it too.
And a lot. I just go by rhythm. I like to think I've got a couple maybe moves, couple different things I'll go to, but generally it's just rhythm, feeling it out, getting people involved. I want to know. Last night you're like, man, it was too much. These guys are
Flailing around,
saucy, and flailing.
bad Bollywood.
They could have maybe used a couple moves, a little structure. How much is too much though? How much structure are you like, man? That's annoying. Come on, like don't go to a hip hop dance class for a month before the wedding.
Right.
Just come in and be yourself.
It's too much when you can tell that the person is thinking about what moves they're doing. Right? When you can see that someone is almost doing a choreographed dance in front of you, it's too much. Because at that point, it's not about the wedding. It's not about anyone around. It's about you. And usually, those people do not look natural. If you're going to a hip hop class for a month, you probably have never danced before. If you don't feel comfortable enough showing up to a wedding and having a sense of rhythm, you're gonna stick out regardless. And I think I'm glad you said rhythm, because I think a lot of people try to figure out like a multitude of moves. They're doing the water, the sprinkler. Yeah, thank you. The
It looks
sprinkler.
like any song could be playing. The
Yes.
moves do not change based on the song.
No, and they don't.
It's like you're still doing the sprinkler, but we're
Talking about it's
going
hot in
to-
here. Now the hot in here is
It's
going on.
hot in here now, and you're doing the sprinkler.
Literally
like,
impossible
come on.
to do that.
Yeah.
Well, not
Hot in
impossible.
You look like an idiot.
Yeah, you look like an idiot, and
No respect.
no respect. And yeah, so I think rhythm is the number one thing, and it's I think something that people get psyched out about. You do not have to move that much to hit rhythms. I mean, when you see people, just like even when you have that simple, just like you have your arms crossed, but you're simply swaying to the music. That itself is sometimes enough. If that's not your personality, I'm not forcing you to dance and get all crazy. It's when you see people out of their comfort zone in a way that's not for themselves as much as it is to show themselves.
Yeah.
Isn't comfortable. So I think there's too much, but I don't think there's too much in the movement itself. I love when I see someone that's
You go
not
hard. You're
someone's
sweating.
not they're sweating.
Yeah.
I was drenched. People were asking me where the pool was.
Oh,
I kid you
love
not. I loved it. I mean, I borrowed a shirt that day, which
That's
was
like winning the Gossip Trailers Community Change Angel.
Which I
That
have.
kind of compliment.
one week in a row. I don't know if you can say in a row for 1 week,
It's-
but I'm going to
This is a
take
good
it.
week. This is a good week for you,
Yeah.
Shriram. I mean, to
Yeah.
have you on the show after that award.
Yeah.
And a big night dancing at the
Yeah.
wedding. Now, I asked, and you said that this didn't happen. Grinding at weddings. You don't often see it.
Very uncomfortable.
It's a little touchy-feely. I mean, certainly grinding is. And the family dynamics can get in the way, can be tricky. So, what's your take? Do you appreciate a couple people just being bold, grinding at a wedding? Are you like, hey, more power to you, not my thing? Or is it just like, stop, save it for later? Or you should have done enough of that in middle school, like get over
Sure.
it. I mean, what are your thoughts on grinding there?
I think that's another thing that you have to take the pulse. Like just with the rhythm of a song, you tailor to it. You're not showing up at an Indian wedding doing that. You're just not doing it. And if you are doing it, you got a little bit of Asperger's going on there. You're missing you are missing social cues left and right there. You've seen enough aunties staring at you to know that's not right.
Uh-huh.
Did
But I
you
mean-
say auntie?
Yeah, we say auntie and uncle. I mean, you're gonna meet basically if you meet my mom, you would call her auntie. You just win.
Caucasian people call their uncles
Yeah,
too.
but you call the guy on the street who's of your same color uncle.
No.
If I saw an Indian dude on the street,
My dad's roommate in college, I call him uncle.
yeah, but if I saw a dude on the street, an old Indian man on the street, I was trying to help him across the street, I'd call him, hey uncle, why don't you hold my hand?
We also, if Spencer were to pin me down and get me in an uncomfortable situation, he'd
Call
make
him
me
uncle?
tap out by saying uncle too. Say uncle, say uncle. So is that?
Yo, I think that's the same in some weird way. Yes.
You guys do that in India.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure uncle's
Uncle.
it's pretty ubiquitous. It's strange, but yeah, uncle. Yeah, well, hey.
Well,
Let me. You were just talking about your family and stuff, and speaking of your family and inspiration, what the fuck are we talking about?
my family is very inspirational.
They are okay, fine, but you've been feeling inspiration. recently.
Well,
I've heard. I can feel it. You're
Well-
beaming. You're sun-kissed. I don't know. There's lots of good things going on. I feel a good vibe.
I've been drinking some Sunkist. I don't know
Yeah,
if I
that's
actually am.
probably what I was thinking. But you look good.
Thanks,
You look
man.
good, and I want to kind of get on what you're on. So if you could share that.
Give
Oh
us
yeah.
a-
Well, I wouldn't say it's it's inspirational in what could possibly happen. Margaret Thatcher, no, it sounds similar to the former prime minister.
Inspirational. Yeah, I was like,
But,
I know that
another
woman.
Margaret Thatcher in Little Rock, Arkansas. She's teaching a kindergarten class there, and she bought a lotto ticket, and for the Mega Millions, and she won $365 million in the
Wow.
lotto.
Trump, watch out.
And
for Margaret.
yeah, she might have to invest it in the right places, but she definitely has a
Oh,
nice
Warren
boost
Buffett
with that.
now, yeah.
But yeah, so she's teaching in Arkansas for about $36,000 a year.
Hey,
She wins the lottery, and whew, man, gets $365 million. Her actions after she won might have been a little bit I would say just not classy.
yeah.
She taunted the kids in her class and their parents, and
was
kind
gonna
of
shout her out.
rubbed it all in their faces. And Margaret Thatcher said she was going to be moving to Italy
Yes.
because she just really loves Italy. I don't know. I wouldn't.
Probably buy Greece with that money too if she wanted to.
She could buy part of Greece.
Close, strategic, close to Greece.
Yeah,
We move
I'm
close
sure
to
she's
Greece.
thinking.
Yeah,
steps ahead.
yeah.
She's a teacher.
It's a step in
Well,
that
but
direction.
that's the inspirational story of the day. She went from $36,000 living with her parents in Arkansas to making bank and not making bank. Maybe she made bank at in 1 second. She
Insulting
went-
little kids.
Not assaulting, insulting, not assaulting.
Oh,
She's-
yeah.
she's
Sorry if I
taking
messed
shit.
that up.
She's taking shit from kids one day.
She's
The next
ver- I
day,
mean, I-
She's giving the shit. She's
Going
rubbing the
around.
shit in
I
their
think
face.
it's fair to say she's verbally assaulting them.
Yeah, but that's in the
Insult.
Western sense of the word. She was
Insult is verbal assault, man.
All right. Well, then they should really talk to some of the cornerback wide receivers in the NFL about
Yeah,
verbal assault.
lots of verbal assault.
But that's the inspirational story of the day. Spencer, what's your take? You got something else you want to
Yeah. So speaking of inspiration and verbal assault, I have been tuned into the Little League World Series, glued to the TV, and you often feel for these kids. Now, granted, most of the coaches out there, they're very compassionate. That's what you see on TV. But I can't help but think, man, after some of these kids get shelled with so much on the line, what's that locker room like? These kids are probably, some of them, I mean, whether it's the coaches or the parents, it could be I've had a few of them when I was younger, from friends' parents, a few long car rides home after a tough loss. So, given that, I want to ask you, Shri, we watched the game today, between New Hampshire and Vermont, and it's fun, man. These kids, you just feel for them. They clearly love the game. It's what matters in life for them.
Clearly on
It's
growth hormone as
beautiful.
well,
The
yeah.
innocence is beautiful, and some of them have are certainly on impressive supplemental programs that.
Might just be my own insecurities, but man, these kids are big.
Sure, yeah, they're stacking up. Let's say you have the opportunity. Let's say there is a verbal assault issue, and despite winning the regional Vermont's code, they're looking for a new coach because there was just a tiff between the coach and a couple of the players, or maybe the coach got a little too handsy.
Well.
And here we go.
Yeah, I know.
So they call Shriram.
Yes.
They know Shriram's taught abroad. He's taught in China. He can potentially scout some of maybe the Chinese Taipei team, and
Certainly.
serve as like a spy, understanding what strategies they're not
I
going
wouldn't
to
call it
expect.
that,
they're
but
not-
yeah, I'll be there.
They're not going to expect you to be able to understand their strategies.
Or
You have
navigate that,
ability.
yeah.
So you're certainly a guy who could be in demand within the next few days. You keep your phone on ring, and you could get a call from one of these teams, these U.S. teams, saying, "Hey, we're looking to step it up. We want a new manager. Shriram, are you in? Are you out?"
You know what? I think I thrive on the scouting role, but I've had my voice in a certain guy's ear the last couple of days, and I think Terry Francona. Something about Terry. I'm a Tigers fan. This guy, has given us headaches for quite some time, but the way he handles himself, I feel like he's ready to transition into another phase of his career. I feel like he is the uncle that gets how to treat kids.
Uncle, yeah.
He has an uncle
Tito.
kind of, exactly, Uncle Tito, and I think I've never heard anything bad about him.
No.
Inside sources, clubhouse sources have always.
The whole chicken and beer thing would be interesting if you translate that to Lily. That's why
Yeah.
supposedly he left Boston, but you imagine he's cleaned up his act a little bit.
He has, and he's been doing a great job out in Cleveland. I think he's always seems to be someone that's always doing it for the team.
Yeah.
He's always taking things in stride. When you hear him after post game, he understands the game of baseball. He understands it's his job. He makes a lot of money for it. But he never seems to go too far. And I think that's really important at a young age.
So Shree, you and Tito are on the bench. You have base coaches. Who do you call up? You accept the job. You're coaching Vermont. Francona's in. Who rounds out your staff?
Yeah, I'm putting Jim Leland out there. I think he is like grandfather. He's an angry guy. But I think when he's on the base path, I think you need some anger. You need a little bit of, listen, kid, this is what we're doing. And he's been there. Is
he first base coach or third base?
I think he's third. He's too decisive not to. He's too decisive not to. I think you put him at third base, and people listen to him. No kid's blowing a stop sign. Jim Leland's throwing up. No one. You have the balls to be that kid. And, you shouldn't even be at that level. You should be going up to AAA, whatever you want to be. I feel strongly about him at third. First base is a little toss up. I mean, I would love to get your take on first base. I haven't had enough time to really mull that over. And first base is tough because I think you have to have a good rapport with the kids.
I'm gonna go with Tim Tebow at first base.
Yeah,
I think Tim Tebow as a first base coach, who better to get to after you hit a single or Tim's gonna be so congratulatory. Really appreciate the work you put in to walk that was 60 feet. I think it's 60 in Little League down to first. He knows he's a quarterback. He knows how to read defenses. He's going to know the optimal time to steal, and I just think he's a great voice along a young player's voyage home. A good first stop to have is consulting with Tebow, and you're feeling warm around the bases. I feel like I can make this. Like, we're gonna win because you're my guy at first base.
Tebow,
Francona, Leland, and Shriram Chauhan. That's it.
But dude, I think I'd even just love that Tebow, Leland, just hugging the corners.
Yeah.
They're really hugging the corners. They have a very good cop, bad cop style. You want the good cop in the beginning. The bad cops, he's saying, listen, you're in
real now.
It's runner in scoring position.
Yeah.
I don't need any more Tebow. I made it the first step. I don't need any more Tebow.
So we'll be staying tuned and certainly hoping for that call because I think we've got some great ideas to assemble a staff here with the Little League World Series again, August 20th through 30th in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
We'll be there.
That's one of those you just circle every year.
Yep.
It's a mecca of a baseball fan.
It certainly is. A lot of awards going to be given out at the Little League World Series. We give out awards every day.
Let's get to it.
That's what we do on our show. Today's award, Shri, I know this means a lot to you.
Yes.
We talked about this. Wasn't easy to pick the recipient, but I think ultimately we chose the right group of people to receive this award today. Without further ado, we're going to announce the Donald Trump Defending the Free Market Award.
What an award.
Shri, talk about this award a little and what it means to you.
And it's funny, we talked about inspiration earlier. And this is it. This is what inspired me is we've been watching a lot of debates recently. Donald Trump's really been up in our grills, and to put it in a pretty blunt way. And I think the thing that's most up in our grills is his hair.
And his mustache. But he doesn't have. Does he have a mustache? I wouldn't even know. He's been in your mustache.
Right. I don't even know what Donald Trump's face sometimes looks like because I'm so asphyxiated with his hair. And there's something about it. And some people make jokes about it, but I think it's honestly hair envy. It's hair envy, and it's inspiring, and it's free at free market. What other country could you have that type of free hair and be running for the premier spot in our government?
Most powerful man in the world.
Most powerful man in the world, rocking that type of hair. That's free. It's the market. It deserves an award, and it deserves
his hairdo, the hair product, the hairstyle. Whatever goes into it embodies the free market. Embodies what is possible when you engage.
It is a pillar of our country to have things like that hair.
Yeah, and it's not going anywhere. So I'm confident in that pillar because it certainly has.
That's why it's a pillar.
It has staying power.
Yep.
Do you think the unibrow could be maybe get that as Anthony Davis? Do you think he could get to that level?
I think Trump could get there?
This is apples and oranges right now. I think.
All right, sorry.
To compare anything really to his hair is insulting not only to his hair but to any free market.
And quite honestly to the award,
and to the award. So that's it. We've got the award. It's the Donald Trump Defending the Free Market Award. Little drum roll. All right. And it goes to the Hong Kong Federation of Students for standing their ground against China and its communist regime.
It's about time.
Yeah.
It's about time. It's more like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah.
Even the American government won't do it.
Yeah. There's a
So
lot
the
of
Hong
stigma
Kong
around it.
Federation of Students. That's that.
What else
I
can
can
you
only
say?
really give them an award. We all appreciate what they do, what they stand for, and we're rewarding them for it. And that's
That's
as
it.
simple as it gets.
We just appreciate them. Thank you.
We also appreciate you folks for tuning in and being here for us. It's what sustains us. It's certainly what sustains Joe, as he's been struggling recently, but seems to be piecing things together. So
Tough.
so
It's
we're
always tough.
we're
And yet still we rise.
we're gonna head out. We've got we don't have much to do today, but we're probably gonna be done with this for now. and
Shouts out to Dr. Kovaleski.
Shouts to Dr. Kovo.
Dr. K. Kofo.
Dr. McMillan.
And throw Caton in there too, if he's
Yeah.
still there.
Okay, so
Bloody
yeah,
anarchist.
Caton Kovaleski
And R.I.P. Bruce Center.
and the
Oh,
PAC.
yeah, man. Yeah, he's still alive.
All right, so a lot of shout outs, and it's time for us to go. But until next time,
I'll catch you on the slip.
Let's go. Come on.
Oh.
Get it going.
Ooh, what you doing there? I love how you move it there. Looking mighty good, yeah. Nothing to it but to do it, yeah. Looking just right.